So the shlok says, this is Srimad Bhagvatam, 1st canto, 5th chapter, 16th verse. Very important. Ananta parasya nirvita sukham. Nirvititaha sukham. So, only a very expert personality, retired from the activities of material happiness, not retired from material, retired from the activities of material happiness. So, what is bhakti? Bhakti is retirement from your material duties or retirement from material happiness. What is it? Very clearly explained. People generally think that those who are devotees, they are retired from material duties. They will not do material duties. That is what usually, whenever someone in a family starts the devotional service, other people in the family starts opposing, saying that you will take retirement from the material duties. No. So it's understanding. So if someone feels that, okay, I'm doing bhakti, so okay, let me take retirement from material duties. So the person who is thinking like that in terms of Bhagavatam, that person is also wrong. And another person in the family who is seeing and saying that maybe he is doing bhakti, he will take retirement from material duties. Both ways it is wrong. The person who is following the devotional service, he should not also think like that. And the person who is observing another person in the devotional service should not also think like that. Bhakti does not mean retirement from material duties. Bhakti means retirement from material happiness, material sense pleasure, material sense gratification, enjoyment tendency, proprietorship feeling. Bhakti means retirement from all this. And this retirement should start from what age, according to Prahlad Maharaj? 5. At the age of 5. There is nothing much kept in sense pleasure. Material happiness, there is nothing much kept in that. It is like mirage. Like in the little distance, you see that the water is spread on the road. But when you reach there, is water really there? No. Material happiness is like that. When we contemplate on it, when we think about it, right? When we think about material happiness, when we contemplate about material happiness, we feel, oh, I will be so satisfied if I go for material sense pleasure. But as soon as we go for it, in some time we feel there is nothing much kept in it. Actually, material people try to find satisfaction in material sense gratification. And ultimately they are dissatisfied. So people think, see how contradictory it is. People think that I will be satisfied by getting the material sense gratification, but they when actually go for it, they feel dissatisfied. And people think that when I go towards Krishna, when I go towards chanting, when I go towards bhakti, I will feel dissatisfied, but they when actually go towards it, they feel satisfied. You understand? This is called complete illusion state. That something that will make you dissatisfied, you feel that you will be satisfied with it. And something that will actually make you satisfied, you feel you will be dissatisfied with it. Right? Do I make sense? So this is what? A complete state of illusion. Again, bhakti does not mean retirement from material duties. You have to perform your duties. Arjun, after hearing Bhagavad Gita, he did not took sannyas. He fought and he ruled the entire world. Yudhishthir Maharaj ruled it for 36 years. So Arjun, after hearing Bhagavad Gita, he did not take retirement. Instead, after hearing Bhagavad Gita, he fought. So similarly, If you think that bhakti means to get away from your duties, no. Bhakti means to perform your duties even more sincerely for the pleasure of the Lord. That is bhakti. Every activity becomes Krishna consciousness like that. If you perform your duties for the service of the Lord, for the pleasure of the Lord. So this shloka says, only a very expert personality retired from the activities of material happiness deserves to understand this knowledge of spiritual values. Who will be able to understand this? Who will be able to understand means who will be able to realize? Who will be able to realize the spiritual happiness? Sometimes I hear from people, Prabhu ji, bhakti mein itna ras nahi aa raha hai. Itna. Why? What is the reason? Why you are not getting the taste of chanting? The shloka is explaining. Why you are not getting the taste of chanting? Why you are not getting the taste of devotee association? Why you are not getting the taste of Srimad Bhagvatam, Bhagavad Gita? Why you are not getting the taste of it? What is the reason? The shloka says, only a very expert personality retired from the activities of material happiness deserves to understand this knowledge of spiritual values. So someone who has now taken retirement from the material happiness will be able to he will be able to relish what? The knowledge of spiritual values. Therefore, those who are not well situated due to material attachment should be shown the ways of transcendental realization by your good self, your goodness, through descriptions of transcendental activities of the Supreme Lord. So, again, those who are not well situated due to material attachment, मतलब जो spiritual values में इतने expert नहीं है, should be shown the ways of transcendental realization. उनको God realization का रास्ता आप दिखाइए किस तरीके से. How will you get God realization? When you read and hear the description of transcendental activities of the Lord. एक कथा हुई गोवर्धन लीला, कितनी बार सुने? यही करते रहे हम, कितनी बार सुने? हमें कभी ऐसे महसूस होता, पता तो है कि इसमें क्या है. गोवर्धन लीला, अघासुर वध, तृणावृता वध, कितने सारी लीलाएं हैं भगवान की. मथुरा लीला है, द्वारका लीला है, कितना बार बार यही सुनते रहे. हमें कभी कभी ऐसे लगता है, नो, these are not these are not fictional stories which are created by a movie director or a movie story writer or a script writer in a mentally concocted way. What happens when you see movies? What happens? In that movie, what is shown? In the movie, it is shown the personal mental concoction of the director or the producer or the dialogue writer or the script writer, whatever. And majority of them are all practically non-veg eaters. Busy in sense gratification, in all sorts of nonsense. So when we hear the harvest of the brains of such people, the mental concoctions, such tendencies start coming in our heart also. So that is the reason why we don't go for materialistic movies. At the same time, Krishna Leela is not mental concoction. जन्म कर्म चमे दिव्यम. मेरा जन्म भी दिव्य है और मेरे कर्म भी दिव्य. And someone who hears my transcendental pastimes will become pure at heart. So someone who hears the transcendental pastimes of these movie directors, so he will become impure at heart and thoroughly disturbed. And someone who hears the transcendental pastimes of the Supreme Lord, which are far away from the mental concoction and which are pure in themselves, Janma Karma Chame Divyam, he will become pure at heart. That is why we should avoid all sorts of television, movies, everything should be avoided. Purport. Theologically, science is a difficult subject, especially when it deals with the transcendental nature of the God. It is not a subject matter to be understood by the persons who are too much attached to material activities. Only the very expert who have almost retired from the materialistic activities by the culture of spiritual knowledge can be admitted to study the great science. In Bhagavad Gita, it is clearly stated that out of many hundreds and thousands of men, only one person deserves to enter into transcendental realization. And out of many thousands of such transcendentally realized persons, only a few can understand the theological science, specifically dealing with God as a person. Sri Vyasadeva is therefore advised by Narad to describe the science of God directly by relating his transcendental activities. Vyasadeva is himself a personality expert in this science and is unattached to the material enjoyment. Therefore, he is the right person to describe it. And Sukdev Goswami, son of Vyasadeva, is the right person to receive it. Both the speaker and the listener, this is the qualification. Bhagavatam classes are not meant for enlightenment of only the listeners. These classes, Prabhupada has said, are meant for the enlightenment of the speaker as well. So when he speaks, he should speak with the prayer. What prayer in heart? That let the real message of Srimad Bhagavatam come out. And let me also feel enlightened by it. And let the listeners also feel entitled by it. So in this sense, if you see that, then the listener is, you cannot say that the listener is on the inferior position and the speaker is on the superior position. You cannot say like that. They both are on the same platform. They both want to feel enlightened by the Srimad Bhagavatam. It is just that one person is given the duty of speaking and the seva of speaking, and other persons are given the seva of listening. Was Parikshit Maharaj, a small personality? No. Still, he accepted the message of Srimad Bhagavatam from Sukadeva Goswami. Both are not inferior personalities. Both are expert in God realization. Parikshit Maharaj, Prabhupada says, himself was a pure devotee. Himself was a pure devotee. So when he listens, does he become inferior? No. So both are on the same platform in a sense that both have sat down to understand the message of Srimad Bhagavatam. So who's the right person to speak and who's the right person to receive? Prabhupada says, Vyasadeva is himself a personality expert and unattached to material enjoyment. No attachment for material enjoyment. That is the qualification of speaker as well as the listener. What is no attachment for material enjoyment? No desire other than serving, always, at any cost. We feel stressed. What will be our future? We feel stressed that there are so many insecurities, whether or not I'll get the job, whether or not my future will be settled, whether or not I'll get my degree, whether or not I'll be promoted in my job. Today only I was reading in Srimad Bhagavatam, material world is unreal. And something that is unreal, why to worry so much about it? The problem is something that is unreal, we worry so much about it. And something that is real, the realm of God, the spiritual world, we don't worry about it at all. Again, another contradiction. So what is the detachment from material enjoyment? The detachment from the material enjoyment means to have no desire, anya abhilashita shunyam. No desire, jnana karmadhanavritam, anukulyena krishnanushilanam bhaktir uttama. No other desire than favorably serving Krishna. Then when you are born to serve Krishna, then when you are desired to serve Krishna, then why to take stress that whether or not I'll get the job? I get the job, okay, I'll serve Krishna. I don't get the job, okay, I'll serve Krishna. That's it. Ultimately, job is not real, it is unreal. Let me do my effort for the pleasure of Krishna, that I may get a job from where I can earn and I can serve. Like that. That is Krishna consciousness. प्रभु जी क्या होगा अगर मेरा जॉब नहीं लगा तो मेरे को बहुत टेंशन हो रहा है तो maybe Krishna has some other plans for you. Devotees are like that. We should depend on the plans of Krishna. So Jiva is one of the basic truths of Bhagavad Gita, divided into two parts. One is the non-devotee category, one is devotee category. The non-devotee category is under the control of Bhairanga Shakti, indirectly through Krishna. Then Krishna controls the Bhairanga Shakti. The Bhairanga Shakti controls such a non-devotee and gives the karmic reactions for a devotee. Krishna personally, Ishvara personally. He doesn't go through Bhairanga Shakti. Like in my office, I have, say, chain. I am the boss, then next to me, then next to me. If I have to say something, what will I say? Whom will I ask? I will ask to my immediate subordinate. Then he will ask further. So non-devotee cases like that. Krishna is the boss, Bhairanga Shakti is the first subordinate, then Jiva is the second subordinate. But when I am at home and I have to tell something to my child, will I go through some chain? I will directly speak up. I will directly speak up to the child. You understand? So you have to decide whether you have to be in touch with Krishna like in office, or you want to be in touch with Krishna like at home. If you want to be with Krishna like at home, then anukulena Krishna anushilanam bhakti tama. Just serve, have the desire to serve, and let Krishna decide rest of it. No stress, stress free, always jubilant, always enthusiastic. We should be like that. After all, we are followers of Prabhupada. Yesterday I had sent an excerpt from Prabhupada's Leelamrit. Practically, I felt very... what Prabhupada has done. People used to spit on him when he was doing the book distribution. How many have read that excerpt that I had sent? What Prabhupada is saying, that people used to spit. It was so heavy. I sometimes started crying. But still I continued to serve. Similarly, for us, having stress like degree, career, job, it feels very heavy. And sometimes we start crying. You understand? But at the same time, we should remember that I am not doing this for my sense pleasure. I am doing this for the sense pleasure, the pleasure of the Supreme Personality of Godhead or the Guru. Then you will feel enlightened. Sambandha abhideya prayojan. The prayojan should be clear. What is it? What is prayojan? What is prayojan? No. Prayojan is to get the job, earn, and be settled. Is that the prayojan of your life? No. Prayojan is the love of God. When the prayojan is that, then you need not think much. Let what happens in this unreal world, let it happen. Let me just do my duty as a matter of duty. This time Srimad Bhagvatam in further shlokas it will tell that the material duties that you have should also be meant for taking you to the Krishna, taking you to the path of Krishna consciousness. Are your material duties meant for sense enjoyment, or material duties are meant for God realization? This is what Srimad Bhagavatam explains. that even the material duties are meant for God realization. Your job is also meant for God realization. How? When you do the job sincerely, for the pleasure of Krishna, then job also becomes Krishna consciousness. And when you go in the office, do the job, and use 10 abuses for your boss, and even when you are not exploited, you still don't want to work, then that job is also not Krishna consciousness. So you should be very sincere in your material duties, because the material duties will also take you to the path of Krishna. You understand? Should be very sincere. I've always said devotees should be toppers in every sense. In every sense, devotees should be like that. Right? But yes, at the same time, we have to be careful that someone should not exploit us in the name of sincerity. Right? So we'll close here. Any questions? ये सेकेंड पैराग्राफ हम नेक्स्ट क्लास में कवर करेंगे. याद रखना कि इसके परपट का सेकेंड पैराग्राफ रहता है. Any questions? So what is bhakti? Retirement of material, retirement from material happiness.
प्रभु जी, जैसे मतलब आपने अभी बताया कि हमें मतलब थोड़ा सा प्रेशर नहीं लेना चाहिए अपने करियर को लेके. अब मतलब काफ़ी हाई टाइम चल रहा है मेरा, तो प्रभु जी मेरे लिए काफ़ी रेलेवेंट था आज का जो टॉपिक था. प्रभु जी इसमें ये नहीं, मेरे को ना स्ट्रेस ये नहीं है कि जॉब लगेगी या नहीं लगेगी, बट मेरे को स्ट्रेस ये है कि कहीं मैं कृष्णा का नाम ना खराब कर दूं. अगर मैं मतलब आप जैसे कह रहे हो प्रभु जी कि डिवोटी शुड,
भगवान का नाम कौन खराब कर सकता है?
नहीं प्रभु जी, आपने
we should think that we should have that feeling that I have to give the best to Krishna with my marks, with my job, with my everything. I have that offer. I should have something best to offer to Krishna. You have that desire. That is bhakti. Why are you result oriented? That कि मैं कृष्णा का नाम ना खराब कर दूं. कृष्णा का नाम कौन खराब कर लेगा? किसकी इतनी ताकत है? किसी की नहीं. You listen to me. Right? You have that desire. That is good. But when the desire becomes result oriented, that gives you stress. Then you will not be able to do your chanting also properly. What is the use then? Does Krishna want that from you? No. Have the desire, that is good. I've always said, action plus circumstances is equal to result. Our focus is on circumstances and on result. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Karmande Vadikaraste. Where should have your action? Where should have your all focus on? On the action, not on result and circumstance. What is your action? That I want to give best to Krishna. That is why I am trying. Rest, let Krishna decide. Why should I worry about result? कि मैं कृष्णा का नाम ना खराब कर दूं. This is also worry of result. And why should I worry about circumstances? No, I will not worry about circumstances. I will not worry about results. I will worry only about action. My duty, that's it. Over. Where is the point of stress then? Stress comes from circumstances and result when you worry for them, when you think about them. But when you think about action, then stress does not come. Just think about action. That's it. Over. Nothing more. Any other question?
हमें प्रीचिंग में रिजल्ट प्रैक्टिकल होना पड़ेगा. मतलब प्रभुपाद ने कैसे बोलते थे कि बहुत कितने टेम्पल्स बिल्ड हुए, कितने गीता डिस्ट्रीब्यूट हुए, कितने डिवोटी.
Yes, obviously. You should have targets. कर्मण्डे वाधिकारस्ते means what? सब ये बोलते हैं कर्म करो फल की इच्छा मत करो. अरे भैया, फल सामने पता ही नहीं होगा कि फल क्या मिलने वाला, तो कर्म ही क्यों करोगे? ये कोई, दिस इज नॉट द राइट इंटरप्रिटेशन. कर्म करो फल की इच्छा मत करो. कर्म करो, फल से अटैचमेंट मत रखो. फल तो होना तो चाहिए सामने, कुछ टारगेट तो होना चाहिए अचीव करने के लिए. फल का होना जरूरी है सामने, बट ये टेंशन नहीं होनी चाहिए कि वो मिलेगा कि नहीं मिलेगा, उस डायरेक्शन में मूव करो अपने. इफ यू डोंट हैव टारगेट्स देन व्हाई विल यू डू सम कर्मास? You will not do. Have targets, okay, and do your action. Now, whether or not that target will be achieved, that depends on two things: your sincerity in your actions and the mercy of Krishna. You should have an absolute sincerity that I have to achieve the target, but we have an absolute stress whether or not the target will be achieved. That is the problem. We should have absolute sincerity that the target is achieved. We should work like that. But we have an absolute stress that what if the target is not achieved? That is wrong. You get my point?
Yes,
You should have targets and you should move in that direction with absolute sincerity, not with absolute stress. Yeah?
yes, thank you.
Any other question?
तो जैसे आपने कहा कि हमें मटेरियल हैप्पीनेस से अटैचमेंट नहीं रखनी चाहिए, क्योंकि अल्टीमेटली ये जो मटेरियल वर्ल्ड है ये इल्यूजरी है, ये परमानेंट नहीं है। तो जी लेकिन अब जो जो सेल्फ रियलाइज्ड पर्सन होते हैं, जैसे प्रभुपाद जी थे, तो वो तो काफ़ी एडवांस डिवोटी थे, लेकिन वो जी जैसे हमें तो एक होता है ना कि ना तो वहाँ पे अच्छे से रियलाइजेशन हुआ और ना यहाँ पे, दोनों दोनों में से कहीं भी मतलब अच्छे से नहीं। तो प्रभु जी हमने एक फिलॉसफी वाइज तो ये पता है कि हाँ ऐसे वैकुंठ लोग होते हैं, फिर गौलोक धाम होता है, लेकिन एक होता है ना कि हमें फिजिकली उस चीज़ को ऐसे कभी देखा, कुछ ऐसे रियलाइज नहीं किया, तो इसलिए कई बार ऐसा लगता है कि जो सामने दिख रही है चीज़, जैसे मटेरियल वर्ल्ड दिख रही है, तो वो कई बार ऐसा होता है कि परमानेंट लगने लगती है कि हाँ ये तो जो मतलब वो विजन ही आ पाता। तो वो
Here comes in picture the Guru. What I personally feel is, I haven't seen Krishna. Okay, he exists. Golok Dham exists. Okay, everything is fine. I accept this philosophy. But I haven't seen. So I'm not realized. I'm seeing the material world. So I feel this is real. And I feel that Golok is unreal. Right? This is the question. But still, philosophically, I understand that Golok is there, which is higher than this. You know, such questions have turned up in my mind also. And I have also faced. The only answer is I haven't seen Krishna, but I have seen his representative, Guru Maharaj. I have seen him. I have attachment to him. Tadviddi paripatena pariprashnena sevaya. Approach a spiritual master, ask your questions, and serve him sincerely. Updekshayanti te jnanam jnaninas tattvadarshina. He is the connecting line. I don't have feelings for Krishna. I don't have feelings at all. But I have feelings for Guru. And Guru has seen the truth. So he will take me there. That is the problem. We don't approach Guru out of our ego, and we try to approach Krishna directly. Then we search for rasa that we don't get. Process is told by Krishna in 4th chapter of Bhagavad Gita. Approach the Guru, ask him questions, serve him. Because Krishna also knows we haven't seen him, at least in this material body. So he's telling you, I have given you a representative. Why don't you go to him? He will connect you to me. You understand? Here comes in the picture Guru. And not a bogus Guru who is not out of any sampradaya. Authentic bona fide Guru is in Guru Shishya Parampara. जो किसी संप्रदाय में नहीं, उसका खुद का ही कनेक्शन टूटा हुआ, तुम्हारा कनेक्शन क्या जोड़ेंगे? जो ये बोलते हैं एकादशी का व्रत ही नहीं करना, वो तुम्हारा कनेक्शन क्या जोड़ेंगे? You understand? Any other question? All right. श्रीमद् भागवतम की
जय
जगत गुरु शिला प्रभुपाद की